Welcome to another RES Wave update. Okay, so this is the second video idea for XLM today. I posted one earlier today, this morning in Australia. Now it's about almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia on the 6th. And we have seen an interesting move up in XLM. And as you can see, I have reverted my count back to the CDE pattern of wave 2, this one. Okay, and why have I done that? Because basically we're seeing this thing get sharper and longer. And basically the strength of that move made me think that perhaps I was right. But if you want to see the alternative count, I suggest you watch the video that was right before this one. I always link the videos down below in related ideas so you can see the difference. Okay, so the only thing I did change is the internal count of this. Now, I did already change the internal count in the previous video, but we're dealing with fractal patterns here. So you must understand that the count can still be the same. It's just the first waves that can be either 1 or A in brackets. Right? Now these are Aria's wave secrets. And if you can actually understand what that means, then you're doing pretty good. Now I did change slightly the wave structure of the B wave, the expanded B wave. I took away the CDE count just simply because I started to see a few things that were just a bit different. Like the D wave in here, for example, I saw that there was an A wave and then a 3, 3, 5, 3, 5 in there, and then for D, which is cool because that means that was A, that was B, that was C, D, E, right? So then you have your A and your C, right? Now it's the same kind of thing when you're looking at it from the perspective of a 1-2 pattern. This could have been 1, this could be 2, and then 3 could go to the moon, right? It's fractal patterns, right? And that's the beauty of Arias Wave, is that it gives you at least some clues as to what you could be looking at. Okay, but in this case, I've reverted back to this count because once we got to this point, it just shot straight up. And I was anticipating in yesterday's idea like a DE, and it never happened. So therefore, I can assume that I've miscounted something back here. And like I said in my previous idea, I changed that view, which basically, if you look at this D wave here, right? Well, if you look at this whole B wave, right? It's a zigzag, right? It's an expanded type 2 zigzag. I just explained it. You had your A wave, right? Which would be here, small, right? Then you had, so that's A in brackets. And then you had an A, right? Which is A here. Then you have a B, which is B here. Then you had a C, which is C here. Then you had a D, which is D here, like so. And then if you look closely, remember we had that little drop here? I'll just zoom in so you can have a look. This is how cool the waves are. By the way, I love the waves in case you didn't notice. Right, remember we had this little move here? That explains what that was. It was an E wave of the B wave, right? So if we go back to, let's wait for this to load. Back here, that's the same wave that this one is here, E. E for the B wave in brackets. That's what that was there. And then you get the little move up to complete the zigzag. These are expanded zigzags. So that's why I changed my view on what that particular wave was. And it's not always easy to spot, but once you spot it, it's a pretty big clue. So I'm keeping this view for now, unless I see some crazy reversal back to the downside, to be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason being is because if this was a zigzag, why is this weak like it is and this is strong like it is? It shouldn't be that strong. If you want to make a comparison to the A down here, right, to the C up here, I mean, there's not much difference really. It's that one's kind of sideways, that one's a little bit stronger, but it's a lot choppier, you know. Well, that one's pretty choppy too, but that it didn't move much. But when you're talking about a move like this, these are impulsive kind of moves, right? I mean, look at that thing. Go to the RSI for a moment, right? Which I did just before, by the way. You know, like, okay, so if you're looking at this, you know what, RSI, forget the RSI for a second. Go to the hourly RSI, okay? Yes, you've hit that top of the triangle line, okay? You've still got more strength going on here than the previous, well, up until back where B wave ended. So if you do go back to the 15-minute chart, yes, you can see that wave there was a weaker move in terms of RSI, right? It was. But RSI is not always very accurate, and especially not at the lower time frames, okay? We're looking at trend analysis, and from what I can tell, if this is a completed 5-wave move and it keeps going, then this was officially wave 2. This was officially wave 2, okay? Now, if for some reason we get the reversal back down here, like I said in this morning's idea, okay, so this could be a D wave. And if so, it's a completed D wave because all the internals are there. And then this would go here, this would go here. That would be the end of wave 2, right? This would be C wave down here, okay? And that would be D, ignore the 1 and the 2 there. It'd be A in brackets, B in brackets. But why would we bother to do that right now when we're seeing such a sharp move? We're not seeing, you know, we saw a piercing of that top of that triangle, but we didn't really see a smash down after that, right? It wasn't really a smash down. Like if you look what happened here when the B hit the top there, pretty much it started smashing down straight away, right? You could still say, hey, we're still early. We might see a smash down any minute, okay? So let's look at the internals here, okay? Let's go to the 1-minute chart. Let's try and understand what is this pattern here, okay? Now I can see like a zigzag there, a zigzag there, a 5, potentially a zigzag here, right? And then another 5. So it's almost like that's just a correction, a complete correction right there. And then we're just going to see further upside, right? If I saw that we had like a 1-2 pattern, like a, I don't know, like if this was a more of a one, like a zigzag down followed by a 3-3, 5-3, 5, I suppose that might make me feel like, okay, maybe this is going to be an E wave down, right? But can you see what it's doing there? These are impulsive type little movements, right? That turn into, like what you can see down here, they step up until they just go high, right? So I suppose it's important right now to, I suppose, be patient. like I always say, right? Remember that typically we get pullbacks to the area of the previous E wave high. Okay, now let me just go to the hourly for this particular example. Okay, so you had the first major E wave back here. Okay, we hit it, we went down, we came back up, we hit it again. Okay, so are we in the process of seeing a retest of that E wave high from back then? Right? It's possible. It's possible. Okay, these waves are too small to really, you know, to really capture that, right? But the other thing is, we've had a break of these waves, these two magenta lines, which are also E waves. One of them's back here. If you're counting this as a CDE pattern, right? That's the top of E. So we've had a break of that, a rejection, and a comeback. See, can you see the pattern going on? You hit it, rejection, and then you get a comeback, right? Same thing here. You hit the top of the E wave. You basically went right through it, and you came back to retest it, right? So are we going to see the same thing here, where we broke up, we come back, and we retest it, that magenta line, which is the top of the E wave, right? It's possible. Okay, so that's going to be the area where you're going to be watching, and you're going to be saying, okay, if this goes below that magenta line up the top there, then okay, fair enough. Maybe we're going down for an E wave. Okay, and maybe this was a D wave. But another thing I must add is that this, it just got sharper as it went higher. Okay, it got sharper as it went higher. So if you look at the sharpness of this move and try and compare it to this move, it's getting sharper, in my opinion, right? So if you had like what is this? 1, 2, 3, that's only 3 there, right? That's only 3, wave 3, if you can even call it that, right? Or it could be a completed 5-wave move, right? These small degree moves, when they get sharp, you can't really see the corrections too clearly, right? That's why you've got to use the bigger picture. You can't always be drilling in too far into these. It just, trust me, after a while, you just zone out, right? Because it just gets too much. Now, it took me 6 years to be able to even stare at a chart for extremely long periods of time. I used to have to take breaks. Now I can stare at a chart 24/7. But there is a limit to how deep you should go, because you should understand the overall pattern, and you should also be prepared for certain outcomes. But like I've said to you, I'm not margin trading this. Okay, if you wanted to margin trade this, if you thought this was 1, 2, 3s coming now, which it looks like it could be, obviously your stop would be down here at this red line, and your entry would have been here. You'd already be in this move, and you've already in profit. Okay, to the people who already have learnt Arias wave, I'm pretty sure they're already onto that one. And it's just about, what do you want to focus on? What is your style of trading? Do you want to buy and hold? Do you want to margin trade it? There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. Okay, so what else is there to say apart from, okay, so we hit the top of the triangle, a little bit of a rejection there. If there's real strength behind this market, which I think there is for sure, this thing don't care about rejection. This thing's going to hit it, come back a bit, make it look like it's going down, and then it's just going to go straight through the roof. And then you know what's going to happen after that, right? The next target will be the all-time high of 92 cents roughly. But it'll just smash through that, right? It's going to be plain and clear obvious that it's not going to make a difference. It might touch it for a bit, move around it for a bit, grind on it a little bit, right? But it'll pay off. So, and after that, you've got no limit until you get to $50, $47 to $50, right? And that's crazy profits. We're talking, since I begun talking about getting into this thing, we're talking 6,000%, right? Gain. Unlike anything I've seen, I don't know if ever, right? Even if you take it from current levels, where we are now, and you measure up, that's 7,000% just to $46. Okay, that's just being conservative, just to get the same distance of the A wave. Okay, this is a measured move. This is not guessing and pulling it out of a hat. B wave ended here. We're going to $50, 46 to be conservative. And that's going to be the zigzag measured from the end of the B wave in brackets. That's how RES wave works. If the B wave ended down here, then it'd be measured from down here, and maybe it wouldn't go so high. Maybe it'd go to, I don't know, whatever the distance is, $5, whatever, right? But RES wave tells you where the correction ended, and that's where you measure it from. That's why sometimes you see zigzags that it appears that the C wave is longer, right? Now, that kind of thing, you know what it does? It makes everybody get in at the top, right? Human behavior, human psychology. It makes everyone get in at the top or halfway, and they basically end up providing the liquidity for the people who know when to get out to cash out with no problem, because there's a buyer for every seller. Okay, so that's going to be fine for me. When we get there and people want to buy this because they think it's going to the moon, I'll be selling that. Okay, because I have other things in mind. That's what we do here on this channel. We have other things in mind. We don't follow the crowd. That's why you see a lot of people saying that the analysis is BS. The analysis is in your dreams. Okay, if it's in my dreams, and why is it going up like this now? Is it by accident? Or does the market just like going against what everybody else thinks, or the majority? I don't know. You decide. I haven't got time to think about that. All I've got time to do is think about the waves and how to basically present that information to you so you can make your own decision. And if you want to learn it, you can. As you know, I have a program. But hey, if you know what you're doing, it's a completely different ball game out there. Not only do you know when to get into a trade or when to buy something, you know when to get out. Okay? How many times have I heard these stories of people who they bought cryptos early, they made a ton of money and lost basically all of it. Right? They had to basically start trading their super because they were so broke, right? Don't be that person. Build your capital, get it off the table, wait for the perfect opportunity to reinvest it, right? That's just my opinion. That's not financial advice. That's just common sense in my opinion, but anyway. Hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.